score ever in the history of the NBA. Certainly, he has given us some great memories over the years. How about a big round of applause for, right now on the floor, number 24, the Black Mamba, Kobe Bryant.
Welcome to the Kobe Show. Take 2.
Kobe was something special. There's no question about it. There's a reason why we mention MJ, we mention Kobe.
The greatest who's ever wore the purple and gold. For 20 years, he thrilled us. He made us scratch our head. What did we just see? What did we just witness?
I'm saying Kobe Bean Bryant, in my estimation, was the greatest basketball player. Studied the game, was a student of the game, worked harder than anybody else, including Jordan.
And he gave us 5 NBA championships.
Once the game started, when we competed against each other, probably after the first time I played him, my rookie year, you keep the main thing, and you're trying to go out and win the game, and he's trying to destroy you because that's what Kobe's all about. When like I said, I was a 15-year-old kid who was able to meet him. I was in awe. We all root for one another, no matter past, present, or future.
And I thought about the expectations you guys have for me and you have for our team, and it pushed me through. It got me through those 800s and 400s and 100s at 5:30 in the morning, so I thank you.
Thank you, Kobe, for not only making the players on your team better, but you forced your opponents to raise their game as well. Thank you, Kobe, for inspiring a generation of fans to fall in love with the game. And Kobe, I thank you for staying loyal to the purple and gold.
Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Process This. I know you don't normally see this many people on the screen or during the weekdays when we post, but today is going to be a special episode dedicated to Kobe Bryant and his daughter and the 7 other lives lost in the helicopter accident this weekend. If you don't know, Kobe Bryant and his daughter were on their way to a travel basketball game in Calabasas, California, along with 7 other people. And unfortunately, the helicopter went down and there were no survivors. Now, there's a lot of things, a lot of emotions, a lot of just feelings going around, not just the NBA community, not just the basketball community, but the world. And, you know, I think when something like this happens, it's a tragedy, and, you know, there's no real way to kind of process the feelings and what's going on. All yesterday, me personally, I was numb. I was, shocked. I didn't know how to react, but I knew one thing, and the only thing that I could think of was Kobe would want everyone to just keep pushing through. You know, Kobe's legacy is something a lot more than just being a basketball player. Kobe's legacy is a lot more than being a man. He is a legend. He is a global icon, and that is a word that I don't use often. I think the word icon is a word that should only be associated with the best of the best, and Kobe deserves that title. But on top of that all, he's what it meant to work. He's what it meant to achieve your dreams, and instead of sitting here and mourning and, just down in the dumps all day, I think it would be good to have a tribute and reminisce about, just the impact he's had on not just the NBA community, but the world, and kind of sit down with anyone in the Tiger Vision family, wanted to go over our favorite Kobe moments and, just how he impacted our lives. Obviously, I can speak for everyone here in saying that our condolences and our prayers go out to not just the Bryant family, but everyone, all the families affected, close family, friends of Kobe, of the other victims in the accident. Our prayers and everything go out to you and your families. So without further ado, I would like anyone who'd like to start off with a favorite Kobe memory. Anything, Pearson? What are you feeling? Anything?
Come on, let's go, Pearson.
Come on, Pearson.
So, my favorite Kobe memory is one that I actually heard a lot as a child. I stayed up late one night. It was a Friday night. I was 8 years old. It was December of '09 when the Lakers were playing the Heat, and with 3.2 seconds left, the Lakers had an inbound. Heat were up 2 with Dwayne Wade covering Kobe, and Kobe got the inbound, hit a fadeaway 3 to win the game, and ripped my heart out as a child. But that was the moment I knew that Kobe was the greatest, and knowing the impact that he would have on me playing basketball as a young child and calling Kobe every time I would shoot a basketball from there on out to try and signify that moment and the greatness that he brought both on and off the court with how many things he did for not just the basketball world but for the world in general, through charities, for being an ambassador, and just trying to make the world a better place. And it
was a fun game. I remember, I've watched the highlights from that game plenty of times too. I mean, I'm sitting next to 2 Heat fans here, so
we're well.
I'm feeling a lot of bittersweet tension from that shot.
Yeah.
But
looking back on it, though, you saved every minute of it. So.
That's a shot you remember.
Yeah.
Whether you're a Laker fan, a Heat fan,
now.
that's a shot you remember. Yeah. Who's next? Who would like to go next?
Someone in the back, pick it up, because I've got the same story as Patrick. We
kind of have the same one.
I'll take it. For me, it's a moment that I can't give it the date, time and date. But for me, the first ever basketball game I saw on TV, I had to be 3 or 4. I couldn't tell you, and it was on at a family member's house because my parents never really were the basketball type. But I just remember it was Shaq and Kobe, and I was I couldn't really understand what was happening because I didn't understand basketball, but I was just mesmerized by these 2 giants to me, especially Shaq. But these two giants to me, just absolutely Kobe darting all over the court and shooting right in people's faces, throwing down in dunks that I cannot literally conceptualize at that age. And then when he was in trouble, dishing it off to the big man, and that sparked my interest in basketball. And while I have become a more full-time basketball fan more recently, which is why, if I had to pick a specific moment, it would be when he tore his Achilles and hit 2 free throws, because I was watching that game.
One.
And as a Lakers fan, that was terrifying, but also incredibly inspiring to watch.
It's the most Kobe moment of Kobe moments.
It really is. But he's the reason that I got into watching basketball, and is the reason why I'm a Lakers fan today. Is because whenever I wanted to watch basketball, I wanted to watch Kobe. And so for me, beyond now his death, that memory will always be with me. I will always remember Kobe as the reason why I became a fan of basketball in the first place.
Anyone else? Kate, would you like to talk?
Of course. No, I was going to say, I just remember how Kobe impacted the game, how I would wake up in the morning. I never really watched NBA as a kid, but I remember watching SportsCenter every morning and just hearing the impact that he had on the NBA and the games and to the whole Lakers community. And also, I remember actually a couple of years ago, I'm a big college women's basketball fan, and I remember watching Arike Ogunbowale knock down 2 buzzer beaters. And what's cool about that was that Kobe actually reached out to her afterwards and told her to go win the national championship, and she ended up doing that. And to me, it carried a significant amount of importance to me because as a woman, being recognized by someone of that caliber in the NBA, it made the women's basketball community feel that much more important. And losing him yesterday not only was a big loss for the NBA, but it also was a huge loss to not only the WNBA, but women's college basketball as well. So to me, as a woman and a women's basketball fan, it's devastating to see someone go who truly was in awe of the women who played basketball as well.
Wasn't there Did he come out not like too long ago? Didn't he say there was a couple of WNBA players he thought could play in the NBA right now?
Oh yeah, that was real recent. That was real recent. That was real recent. That was
last week.
I was gonna say that was been like a week ago.
You're right.
That was very, very recent. I remember because he was talking about like was it Maya Moore?
Maya Moore, Diana Taurasi.
Yeah. Ella Della Donna, isn't that how you say it?
Yeah, Della Donna.
Close enough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm bad with names.
I know she was also, him and Gianna were really big fans of the UConn women's basketball, and for me, I grew up in Connecticut, so the only basketball games I could really go to was UConn basketball, which was a lot closer in men's game than women's game, but the women were much more impressive to watch, and so to kind of have that experience, like that connection with him and his daughter as well, of being fans of that team, while even though they might not be the most exciting team to be a fan of because they obliterate everyone, it's just the sheer impressive of their basketball
talent,
and the fact that someone who is so good and had such a great knowledge of the game, could still went to those games and admired what they were doing is remarkable as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and also he also reaches out to people. I think it's something that's admirable about him is that he reaches out to people. I mean, he gives advice to these players, men or women, and including even the other day when he actually passed yesterday. He wrote Shaquille O'Neal's son.
Yeah, I did see
that
these.
morning. Did you see that? I mean,
did.
He asked and just said, "How you doing?" That's it.
He was known for that, though. I mean, across the league, he would go and just ask just anyone. And you didn't have to be, like the next LeBron James, just anyone in the league. How are you doing?
To just NBA players either, though, because it was also like reporters and there was other people.
It was everyone. He reached out. He reached out and touched so many more people than just basketball players.
Yeah,
I mean, he was arguably the staple of the community. I mean, he really was someone who reached out to anybody and everybody. So.
Yeah.
Sam? Would you like to bring it back to the front row?
I got your story, though. Do you want to
it's
tell
all
your
right.
story?
It's all good. It's all good.
All right, so Patrick and I have similar stories here, but it was Kobe's last game. I was in high school. Were you a junior? You must have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were a junior. I was a senior.
Wait, was it 2016?
I thought it was 2016.
Maybe I was a junior then. I don't know. It doesn't feel like that long ago. That's the issue.
I would have been a sophomore. You'd been a junior.
I was a junior. So, see, it throws me off, but I was getting up early every day for school and all that stuff, so I was really tired. I was exhausted junior year. But Kobe was on. It was Kobe's last game. Which you gotta watch. So I stay up. It's halftime. Kobe's got between 13, 21 points. He's not doing super hot. Some of his shots just aren't falling there. Lakers are losing big time.
He looks like old Kobe.
Yeah.
He looks like regular old Kobe.
Yeah. So I still want to stay up. Still want to watch this. Passed out. I slid in on a chair to catch. I forget which one it was. Passed out. Completely gone. I wake up. It's just past midnight. And Scott Van Pelt's on, I'm pretty sure, because it was on ESPN, I think. And they're doing the post-game wrap-up. And Kobe's got over 60 points. And the Lakers won the game. And I'm like,
I missed this.
You gotta be kidding me. Man, I was so I was happy, but I was so mad at the same time. I'm like, I gotta go back and watch this now. Yeah, I was like, are you kidding me? I mean, it was the consummate Kobe thing to do, but for me, I was like, you gotta be.
Oh, it was crazy. I have a very similar story to that. But Peyton, I'm gonna let you
absolutely.
Go next. Go for it.
So for me personally, I've been a big basketball fan for a while. Started playing basketball in first grade, I think. First grade. Yeah, first grade. Let's just go with first grade. Anyway, I remember the year that they beat the Magic in the finals. I think this was 09. 09. So they beat the Magic in the finals that year. And I remember just really kind of taking basketball kind of seriously, not to the point where I was training every day. I didn't have a trainer like everybody else does now when they're 9, 10 years old. I didn't have all these training equipment. Yeah,
shooting on that Fisher-Price hoop.
Right, exactly. So for me, I remember at the time it was summer, so I'm going to summer camp. My parents just sent me away. And I remember that I was at the summer camp, and we got to watch the game the night before. And I think it was Game 5. I don't know why I remember that in the series. But Kobe had this killer jab step, right? Oh, yeah. And I remember trying to elevate my game. And I just remember literally going out there for 3 hours and just jabbing. Constantly just jabbing, right? And after that, I tried to be like Kobe for a little while, and it's crazy because like over time, I really didn't like stay that much of a Kobe fan. It kind of changed for me. Like I started to like a couple other players a little more, but I'll never forget Kobe stuck with me when I went and bought the Kobe 5s with all my allowance money that next season. That next season, the Kobe 5s came out, and I bought those shoes. And I remember those were like the coolest shoes I ever had, like in terms of Nike shoes, like in terms of shoes, period. I thought they were the sweetest shoes ever. I didn't know whose signature they were at first, because like I said, I was so young, I didn't really understand. And I remember after the fact that I knew that they were Kobe shoes, and I just remember like putting it all together. It was just magic. And I think that like that's the epitome of his game, is he had magic in it. And, people always refer to Magic Johnson when they talk about Kobe, but they were such two totally different players, but having the same kind of impact is so important. And going forward, I think it's important for people to just dwell and just live out his legacy and just remember what kind of player he was on the court, but who he was off the court. And, that's something that we want to keep in mind going forward, and just live a life like Kobe, live to inspire other people the way he did. So.
Now, before I go, if you haven't noticed, Jay is not here. He is one of the normal hosts. I'm sure you've seen him plenty of times in this seat right here. But he did have some words, so I will bring up my handy-dandy phone and look at just exactly what he said. He wanted to touch us on a lighter note. The commercial where he jumped over the car was probably his favorite moment with Kobe. He's watched that plenty of times over, and I've heard him say that before, so I can say it's true. But on a more serious note, his commitment on the spread of the game overall, both globally, and his support of WNBA and women's basketball was something that Jay thought was very cool and very important in the basketball community. And so, as before, Jay sends his condolences to all the families involved, and especially to the Bryant family. But as for me, Kobe and I go a little ways back. Similar to Sam's story, Kobe's last game was one of the only games that I had planned my entire day around. There were only 3 games. His last game, the Cavaliers Game 7 championship against the Warriors, and this most recent championship, Toronto Raptors, Golden State, the last game. Only 3 games I've ever planned, to the T, everything that was going to play out that day so I could watch the thing in full. And I had gotten all my schoolwork done well in advance. I had requested off work early that night. I had left an hour before the game to go get a pizza, and I was ready to go. I was ready to watch the game. About after maybe 10, 15 minutes, the first quarter, I'm out cold. I'm asleep on the couch, and I wake up with like 2 minutes left, and luckily I got to watch the last 2 minutes of the comeback. Snoop Dogg's going crazy. Everyone's telling Kobe to shoot the ball, and he's hitting every shot. Then when I woke up, and it didn't click in my head that this dude's making everything. I'm just like, wow, the Lakers came back with Kobe shooting like that. That's crazy. I was like, how'd they do that? And I went to bed that night, and I didn't think much of it. I was like, oh, cool, Kobe's last game. I woke up the next day, and it finally clicked to me, and it finally hit that Kobe played his last basketball game. And I was like, huh. And they won. How cool. How many points did he have? I think he had like 20 when I went to bed. I click on my phone. I'm like, oh, my goodness. This dude put up 60. I'm like, this old guy can still ball. I'm going crazy. I'm like, no way. And this is at like 6 in the morning before school. And I'm like, I thought I was still asleep. And it was just crazy to see, someone whose game was defined by hard work and just putting the ball in the bucket. You see someone go out with 60 points to top off his legacy. That's just crazy. That's something you write in like fairy tale books. And on a more personal note, Kobe, though I never met him personally, I do have family members that were close. My cousin out in LA, she was a news reporter for Fox, got to know him very well. So he was a big household name, and someone who, once I actually figured out what Liz did for a living, I'd always nag for an autograph or something, just for proof to make sure she knew Kobe. But he really did hold a special place in not just my heart, but everyone here and everyone, the past few days looking at what happened, and it's just tragic. I can't put to words just how I feel about it. Like I said, my condolences go out to all the families, not just the Bryants, But I recall back to what Mike Breen said yesterday. He was talking about a comic in one of the basketball broadcasts that he was doing. And he said, I just don't feel like broadcasting today. And that really hit a note, because a lot of the times, like especially when something like this happens, you just don't feel like getting out of bed. You don't feel like, doing this show. You don't feel like practicing. You don't feel like getting everything done. You just kind of want to curl up in a ball and cry. And that's not what Kobe would want. And, you take it into account, you look at his legacy. He defined what achieving your dreams was. He defined what it was to work hard, that Mamba mentality. You get a nickname. You don't give yourself a nickname. And Kobe gave himself a nickname. Kobe termed Mamba Mentality, and that stuck. And it proved that his message wasn't about his legacy. It's about how you can make your legacy great through hard work and through putting everything out every day. And it's just a tragic case, but something that we're going to move on from and get stronger. I know if I could wish for one thing, it would be for him to be right back where he was on the court with his daughter, practicing for the next travel game. But that's not the case. So instead, we're going to move forward, and we're going to not only remember his legacy, but cherish it. We're going to become better. We're going to learn. On a side note from all of this, and as a personal, just something that I would like to say, always cherish what you have in front of you, the people around you. I mean, all you guys here, it's just, you never know what's going to happen. So, petty things, little squabbles with people, just, you let it go. It's really, this is just something, so when something like this happens, it makes you realize just how special life is and how special everyone around you really is. Family, friends, community. It just really, really highlights things you take for granted. And I miss him. I know everyone here misses him. And I know that it's going to be a tough month, tough week, tough day as we go by. But we'll be okay. And Kobe, I love you, buddy. I miss you. If you're watching this on some screen in the great beyond, thank you. You're our first viewer. And thank you for showing us that 24 isn't just a number. It's how many hours in a day you put towards what you want to achieve. And from Process This is Patrick O'Neill signing off on this special Kobe tribute. We wish you all the best, and good night.